Here I am. Here I am. Here I am. Here I am. I wasn't late. I was just somewhere else. I don't need to buy a watch. I need to buy someone who's a technological guru, which I'm not. It's fine though. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Let me check the picture. All right, yeah, there we go. That'll do. That'll do. How are you doing? Sorry about the technical issues. I'm trying to work Streamlabs OBS, which is different from OBS Studio, and it worked well yesterday, but it's been a twat again today. That's all I've got to say about that. That made me sound like Forrest Gump. That's all I've got to say about that. Can't do a Forrest Gump accent, sorry. So anyway, how's it going? I'm going to talk, as you've seen, about what can only be described as, well, madness, lunacy. I don't know what else to say. Like, every time I think we've set a new low, we somehow plumb the depths. Like, when I'm convinced we've got to the absolute pinnacle of fucking lunacy, something else happens that makes me think, the world's gone crazy. Like, are we the only sane people? There's what, 65 million people in Britain? Probably about 75 if you include all of the fuckers living in tents that probably shouldn't be in the capital. I mean, it's mad London now. It's starting to look like fucking LA. Just like scruffy tramps in tents everywhere. Don't really understand that. There never used to be tramps everywhere when I was a bairn. You never used to see them. Now, it's like the Salvation Army hostel, except there's less people masturbating. Not that I've ever spent the night in a Salvation Army hostel, honest. So I'm just baffled by this. And what I'm going to show you after I've read this story out is Owen Jones's channel, because honestly, I was listening to the Lotus Eaters earlier, and they were talking about Owen Jones, and I seriously, like, there was a reason why I picked that thumbnail that I did, hate crime, politely disagreeing with Owen Jones. Because Owen Jones, like so many on the left, inhabits a alternate plane of existence. like they are actually mental. They talk, and it is the exact opposite of not just the truth, but observable reality. Like, they may as well be sitting there saying there's no clouds in the sky when they're in Manchester in February and it's pissing down with rain. Like, they just, I don't know how else to, it feels as if words don't do it justice, how stupid it is. Like, I can use all the comical analogies you want. It doesn't do it justice. To me, just point out in comical terms, like Owen Jones has got the IQ of a pork pie. That doesn't do justice to just how warped and crazy they are. Like, they're just in denying reality. It would be like me holding my hand up like that and saying, look, I haven't got any fingers. I just do. And I know that this whole movement lately's been completely consumed by lunatics that, you know, have swallowed that sort of postmodernist, deconstructionalist, sort of critical theorist shit. I'm trying to think of a polite term for it. Fucking shit. That I know it lends itself towards completely denying reality, but you wouldn't think it was as crazy as it is. It's just mad. Like, it's one thing saying the trucker in a frock is definitely a woman, and not just definitely a woman. If anyone didn't hear about it, the powerlifter. I'll quickly find that story for you. Powerlifter wins records. Yeah, let's have a look. Powerlifter wins records. I started to come straight up. Let me alright then. Trans powerlifter breaks records. There we go. That'll do it. Trans powerlifter. No. Not powerlifter Mary Gregory stripped of the world. Was it in New Zealand? Someone from New Zealand? Let me try again. Oh, okay. Laurel Hubbard. That's it. Laurel Hubbard. So I was reading about Laurel Hubbard. 2020, won the gold medal in the women's 87 kilo event at the Roma 2020 World Cup in Italy. Like, 42-year-old, changed sex well late, like 35 or something, and obviously smashes all of the powerlifting records. Could probably pick up more with her cock, yeah, than most blokes. Just lift it up with your fucking bell end. And not just is Laurel Hubbard definitely a woman, but Laurel Hubbard is more of a woman than Jermaine Greer, right? Because Jermaine Greer says problematic things, so therefore she isn't a woman. She definitely isn't a woman. But Laurel Hubbard, who used to be a bloke, doesn't say problematic things. So despite the gnarled forearms and throbbing, veiny, meaty, pulsating clitoris, Laurel Hubbard is definitely all woman. More woman than more woman than the Queen of England, more woman than Jermaine Greer, more woman than fucking Jessica Rabbit, right? Because Laurel Hubbard believes the right things. And if you believe the right things, reality doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You just cast reality aside. If you believe the right things, we will back you to the hilt. You can say the fucking sky is green and the grass is blue, and that is right because you believe the right things. This is where we are now. This is where we are. That's not hyperbole from me. This is where we are. And Owen Jones, in this video I will show you after I've fucking
the corporate
walked
media
through the news story, is basically Owen Jones talking about how, despite all of this, despite the police telling everyone that disagreeing with people is a hate crime, despite that, despite the power of the state being bent against them, us, apparently they're the ones that are not being listened to, right? All of the people getting cancelled, getting the books burned, getting thrown out of universities, getting arrested for politely disagreeing with people, they have all the power. They have all the power and nobody ever silences them. Like, it's mental. I just don't know what to say about it, right? Anyway, that's the preamble. I really am though, like, I'm not given to despair. I'm a stoic chap and I just crack on. But it is enough to make a man despair. You can see why weaker people just completely lose the plot and either fling themselves off the pier with concrete wellies on, or go on the piss until the liver explodes, or just become hopelessly nihilistic and drug-addled and, tits and prozzies. Because it does make you question your sanity. Right, it does. If it wasn't, I think a community like this is actually good for you, because just having a chat in the chat box even and listening to a normal bloke talk is quite cathartic, isn't it? It's like, okay, I'm not alone. I might be surrounded by crazy people, but not all the people are crazy. It's just the ones who have the biggest voices. So anyway, we'll talk about that in a bit. This story, I have to cover it because I said I would. I was going to make a video about it and edit it and do it, but then I thought, no, you know what? I'm sat on my own all fucking night. I might as well do it live and actually talk to people. Actually, let me pop the chat out because Streamlabs did it well yesterday and now I can't see anything again. There we go. So here we are. Let me move that down a bit. Normal. Yes, Mike, normal. What Liam said there's a good point as well, though. The crazy thing about this is, I don't know if anyone's into Star Trek like me. Like, we've established that I think I'm a bit more nerdy than a lot of the people who listen to me. But there was a really good Star Trek, because like every couple of years, me and my missus go through TNG, like from start to finish, and just watch it all the way through again. And last year I watched it all the way through again. And there's a really good one where Riker's he went undercover and he got kidnapped, and then he's having this rant about he says I might seem crazy, but I'm not crazy. Like, he knows he isn't, and I know for a fact I'm not. I know for a fact that what I think is the majority opinion in Britain by a pretty significant majority. But you can be convinced that you're crazy because our voices don't get amplified, do they? Like, if you listen to the BBC or Channel 4 or Sky News, like, there are no fucking mainstream media groups that really talk about what we do, what we say, what we think. It's completely silenced. It's a really, really strange time to be alive, isn't it? Like, normal milquetoast opinions are just... Yeah, Liam, that was aimed at you. I'm saying it's quite a good point you made. Normal people basically think what I do. Like, we can have a laugh and say, oh yeah, Bootneck's a bit of a weirdo, but like, normal people, if you were to stop 100 people outside my house and ask them about random political, like, just pick 10 political hot topics of the day, I reckon I'd agree with them on like 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 would agree with me. Like, if you were to say, like, what do you think of this? 9 out of 10 would agree with me. But when you listen to the fucking mainstream narrative, like, we're the crazy ones. We're the crazy ones. It's fucking mental. Right then, so let's read this story. Hate crime. First of all, a point I've made many times before. If everything is a hate crime, nothing is a hate crime. The reason hate crimes exist, the reason it became a thing, a hate crime, is because you have to have harsher penalties for people that do a hate crime. So if you just fill someone in while you're mugging them, you get done for a bog standard assault and a bog standard mugging. But if you specifically target someone because you despise their ethnicity, that is worse than... Objectively, it is as well. I mean, I'd agree with that. Because mugging's predominantly motivated by, like, desire for wealth. And obviously being strong enough to take it, might is right. But if you did it because of another reason, like an ethnicity or a nationality or a race or something, then there's a real element of spite in there that is lacking in a typical crime. But the real problem is, if you make absolutely everything a hate crime, then pretty much every time someone gets prosecuted, it's under hate crime legislation. So then, nothing is a hate crime. If everything is a hate crime, nothing is a hate crime. Because every single time you're sitting in front of a fucking judge, he's going, oh, hate crime. It's like, so everything is there. Why don't we just say, across the board, we're doubling the sentence for everything? Because the hate crime doesn't exist anymore. You cheapen these things when you throw them around willy-nilly. And they said a hate crime is a crime against sex workers, sexual orientation, disability, gender identity, race, ethnicity, nationality, religion, faith or belief. 10 fucking things. And apparently earlier last year they wanted to introduce age as well. So imagine if they did it right. Imagine if it was hate crime is against sex workers, sexual orientation, disability, gender identity, race, ethnicity, nationality, religion, faith, belief, being too young, being too old, right? Being middle-aged. I've thought you middle-aged fucker. What's left? Like, can you commit a crime and not get done for a hate crime? Mad, innit? So obviously that was why on my thumbnail I put hate crime, politely disagreeing with fucking Owen Jones, because that is what he thinks, basically. The story, if you haven't heard about it, and I know everyone has probably heard about it by now. Merseyside Police has apologised after its officers used an advertising van to tell residents in the Wirral area being offensive is an offence. That was the tweet by Paul Embry that I had thrust to my attention today. Being offensive is an offence. So what they're saying to you is, if you offend someone, that in itself is a criminal offence. And under British law, in the crazy fucking world we live in, they aren't wrong. And this all started, the rot started under Tony Blair, as you're all well aware. But it's fucking mental. Because this is the point I'm making, right? And I wore my Middlesbrough merchandise to make the point, right? As my man Whiskey Straight Al says there, the fucking definition of it is so that anything can be a hate crime. Anything. Anything. Just as long as you perceive it that way. So the point I'm going to make using the footballing analogy, right? If you love Manchester United, you love them, your favourite team in the whole world, you go and see every single game all the time, you absolutely love Manchester United. If somebody says Manchester United is shit and everyone who supports Manchester United is an arsehole, surely that is offensive. I can admit it, right? If I loved Manchester United and someone said that to me, I would definitely be offended. So, has that man just broke the law? The answer surely is yes. By any objective metric we can use, that man's broke the law. If being offensive is an offence in and of itself, if just being offensive is a crime, then anything can be a crime. And with the same analogy from earlier, if everything is a crime, nothing is a crime, right? Nothing. If everything you do is classed as a crime, then nothing is. Nothing is, because it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's completely worthless. The normal feminists made the point about rape legislation when they started saying, you know, a woman, if you buy a woman a drink, that constitutes like mental and emotional pressure. And if she then has sex with you, you basically raped her because you put her under pressure. And all of the sane women in the world said like, yeah, but hasn't the game always been that men pressure us for sex? Everyone does. Fucking hell. Under all these new namby-pamby fucking reasons these militant feminists put out, we've all raped our wives, right? I'm sure once or twice my missus has been, fuck off, I can't be bothered. And I'm like, come on, you might as well. And she's like, oh, go on then, belt one into me, you cunt. Well, that's pressure, right? That's pressure. So is that me raping her? Right? You have to draw a line in the sand. You can't just say mad things like, oh yeah, there was a bit of pressure, therefore rape. No, you have to have, the law doesn't work like that. The law works by drawing a black and white line and saying when you cross that, you've broke the law. The law can never be subjective. And by definition of using the English Oxford fucking dictionary, being offensive is subjective, and it will always be subjective. What you find offensive, i.e. if you're a Manchester United fan, and I call Manchester United shit, you find it offensive, but someone who hates Manchester United doesn't find it offensive. So you can't legislate this way. It's lunacy. Ooh, Star Trek. Another good one was Picard went, oh yeah, he got tortured, that was good. Yeah, and then at the very end he lied and said he could only see 4, but he really could see 5, couldn't he? Or vice versa. Fucking quality. Star Trek is brilliant. It's TNG, fantastic. Anyway, let's not talk about Star Trek. So being offensive is an offence. In current British law, because Sadwings is the only American who's clued in with how shit the UK is. It's one of the few American followers of the Angry Bootneck these days, I think. We don't have a free country in the UK. The United States is much better on freedom of speech than the UK. The UK is not a free country. And being offensive can never be an offence. Not if you're sane. It said neighbourhood police officers deployed the van to display a message of support for LGBT plus people. Hey, it's a way they forgot the queue. Fucking offensive, right? What if you're the queue? They forgot to put the queue in there. The Independent forgot to put the queue in. I'm fucking offended on behalf of all the queues in the world. Not Q from Star Trek. I'm offended. Therefore, the Independent has just brought the law. See how easy it is? See how easy it is? Prove that I'm not offended. Yeah, jury. Prove that I'm not offended. Prove it. How do you prove a negative? It's fucking impossible. Critics have hit out with the messaging as undermining free speech. Critics? You mean sane people? which advocates say includes the right to offend. Which advocates say? The fucking Independent. The Independent. Which advocates say? No, which all normal humans who have a fucking dictionary say. Yeah? It's what everyone says. What do you mean, advocates? Columnist Paul Embry described an image of officers posing with the van as staggering, while Paul Whittle, a right-wing London Assembly member, so right-wing, probably a dull milquetoast centrist if he's in the London Assembly. It's not like woke London is full of the Gestapo as well, is it? Described the officers as thought police. Being offensive is an offence, the digital billboard read. Merseyside police stand with and support the LGBTQ plus community. We will not tolerate hate crime on any level. Well, okay. But you've just made hate crime such a fucking nebula concept that anything can be a hate crime. So what are you going to do? Put a billboard out there, Merseyside police does not tolerate anything. Yeah? I'm Merseyside policeman, I won't tolerate that. What? Anything. What, anything? Anything. Yeah. Nebula, you know. We just make this shit up as we go along now, mate. Yeah, the law's just it's one of them things. Would it be an offence to insult my flat Yorkies? My Yorkies weren't flat. That would offend me if it was true. They were touching the fucking top of the oven, them bad boys. And then you take them out and they go down a bit. But even out, they were like 5 inches. Although, no. How big's my cock? 10. So a half of that. Yeah, probably about 5. I'm kidding. It's like a AAA battery. I'm kidding. Yeah, so absolute lunacy. Absolute lunacy. Superintendent Martin Earl issued an apology. Oh, of course he fucking did. In a statement posted on Facebook, he said the force wanted to clarify that being offensive was not in itself an offence. Oh, really? Well, I've decided that it is. You saying that it's not an offence is offensive. So, what an arsehole. He added a message on an ad van and on social media by the local policing team on the Wirral to encourage people to report hate crime, although well-intentioned, was incorrect. And we apologise for any confusion. Fuck me. Our hate crime coordinator has drawn a wealth of experience and expertise to provide effective and, above all, sensitive and appropriate support. Unbelievable. So there you have it. An embarrassing climb down for... What is it with Scousers, by the way? I know, see, I've told you guys this before. I'm not a collectivist, so I don't dislike Scousers. However, an unusually high percentage of Scousers are a bit mental. Like... An unusually high percentage of Scousers are overt communists, and I don't fully understand it. Do you think it might be because, like, there's a large Irish population in Middlesbrough, and I don't think most Middlesbrough people are communists, but maybe I'm wrong. Something wrong with Liverpool, though. I really do not understand. It feels like 60% of that city are fucking hardcore commies. So a bit weird, isn't it? Bit weird. Liverpool's a bit weird. Anyway, that's that. Unbelievable. So, to sum up, disagreeing politely with someone can still be a hate crime because the person you disagree with, if they feel really, really strongly about the thing you disagreed with, they're going to be offended. And because it is completely nebula and there's no concrete black and white way of proving it, i.e., like physical evidence, then anything can be a hate crime, right? Anything can be a hate crime. This actually needs looking at. Like, I don't know, write to your fucking MP, I don't know what it'll take, but this needs looking at. We need someone to sit down and go, the laws need changing. The Communications Act, all the shit that Blair passed, the partisan Supreme Court, it all needs changing. We need to have a return to logical, sensible, reality-based policing where you need physical evidence. If you just say, that guy's fucking offended me and he's committed a hate crime, the police, oh, well, we have to investigate it then. No, you need evidence. You need something. That's the way it works. And the same, and I know this is going to upset any militant feminists in the chat, but the same does need to go for serious crimes like rape. Like, if you want to turn around and say, 9 years ago, a bloke raped me, but I didn't tell anyone because I was upset. And they say, well, have you got any evidence? And you go, no, and I didn't tell my family and friends because I was embarrassed. And obviously it was 9 years ago, so I haven't got any physical evidence. Charge him, jail him. They should be able to say to you, listen, it's really sad what happened to you, and I'm not disagreeing with you, because obviously you don't want to upset the poor fucker if she's telling the truth. But you've got to say, listen, if we can't get our hands on any physical evidence, it is going to be really, really hard to get a fucking conviction. Because we have to inhabit the real world, and in the real world, we need physical evidence. It's like Sherlock Holmes. You need to fucking put the murderer in the same place as the victim. You need to get the weapon. You need to get something. You need to get motive. You can't just live in this world where people say, oh yeah, but I was offended, therefore jail the bastard. It's like, well, we can all do that. We can all say we're offended. Simply saying something is too easy. Humans are good liars. We have good brains. We're really good at making shit up. Which is why the legal system is used to be black and white. Physical evidence, documented evidence, facts, material evidence, material witnesses, something. Instead of just fucking, well, I'm a bit upset today, hang the bastard. Doesn't work like that. Or it never used to. Feels like we're going backwards. Anal swab. Who's leaning on an anal swab? Quoting MLK is offensive, apparently so. Oh God, I wouldn't even want to go on a jury in this day and age. I can't even imagine what it's like. So there's that, right? So I'm going to upset you all now by playing some Owen fucking Jones, because this, just listening to the advert for his channel, staggered me. You know what I'm talking about? Inhabiting a different plane of existence. Just listen to some of the mad shit Owen Jones comes out with here. Like, seriously, he is just a fucking empty shell. Like, I don't know how he can say any of it with a straight face. That's how mad it is. And this is to advertise his channel. Alright. Too many complaints in the chat. I'll just go to the one bit that staggered me, right? I'll try and skip the preamble. But he basically says, the mainstream media is right-wing. Like,
powerful to account for the problems and injustices that they cause. Broadcasters fail to challenge and scrutinise the government.
Thank you so much.
And create monsters who peddle and feed off fear and hate.
Right, so that's the bit I wanted to stick with. He's just said with a straight face there, right? The media doesn't hold monsters, which is a bit of hyperbole for fucking monsters. Like, even if Farage is as right-wing as Owen Jones says he is, he's not a monster, is he? He's never killed anyone. He's never tortured anyone. He's never gassed anyone. Like, monster? Jeffrey Dahmer was a monster, right? Nigel Farage is just a fucking politician. But for him to say with a straight face, the corporate media is right-wing. The corporate media, let's go through them off the top of my head, right? And you guys can tell me, any lefties in the chat as well, please have a go. You tell me if I'm being unfair. And I'm even gonna lean left and try and be as fair as I can, right? And we'll go through what I would say the 5 biggest broadcasters in the UK. So it's Sky News, definitely one of the biggest. Is Sky News far right? No. Is Sky News centre right? No. Is Sky News left of centre? Yeah. Yeah. Is it wrong? Any lefties in the chat? Matty B, he likes to come up and have a go at me every now and then. Is Sky left? Is Sky News centre left then? Would you call it that? It's not fucking mouthpiece for monsters, is it? Sky News? So there's one. Biggest fucking broadcasters in Britain. Yeah? Let's do another one. The BBC. The state-funded, taxpayer-funded, mainstream fucking media. The biggest or second biggest in the UK. Is that right wing? Is that far right? No. Is it centre right? Would it be reasonable to call that centre right? No. No, because they're hostile. Brexit they were openly hostile to that. So there's the big two. Even if we're meeting them halfway, let's say it's left of centre. So there's two. What else is big? Channel 4. After watching Kathy Newman attempt to nail Jordan Peterson's fucking testicles to a desk, I think you would have to call them left of centre as well. They had Ahmadinejad give the alternative Christmas speech. When I remember that well, because I think that was the first complaint letter I ever wrote in my life. I was at 40 Commando and I wrote an angry letter to Channel 4. So I'd guess that was about 2008. But yeah, Channel 4. So the big three in Britain, Sky News, BBC, Channel 4. By any objective metric, all of them are left, right? I'm not going to go mental and start calling them communists, even though I fucking firmly believe the likes of Jon Snow and them are just ridiculous. Yeah, you know nothing, Jon Snow. How fucking apt is that for the shit for brains, old geriatric bourgeois socialist on fucking Channel 4? You know fuck all, Jon Snow. That was so perfect. But so there's the big three. And Owen Jones will sit there with a straight face and say the corporate media has failed us all. They just pan to right-wing monsters. I'm like, what planet are you living on? And then what's the biggest selling newspapers? In fact, I'll Google it. Let's have a look. Biggest selling UK newspapers. Fucking, there you go. So, the Metro. Definitely left of centre, right? Definitely. The Metro, I've had the misfortune of reading the Metro when I've been on the fucking Metro, and the Metro is definitely a lefty rag. No, Aaron, 40 Commandos in Taunton, 42 Commandos in Plymouth. Metro, lefty. So, most popular paper, left. The Guardian, very, very, very far left. So the top two, left. Left. The Times, possibly, let's say centre-right. But they are very, very centrist because the Times is fucking milk toast. Milk toast. The Times, I used to subscribe to the Times and I cancelled my Times subscription because I read some insane communist shit on the Times that genuinely angered me. So even the Times isn't right-wing anymore. It's like centre. Let's just say it's centre-right. But the point is, the top three papers, fucking top two are left, and the top three TV and radio are left. So what fucking planet have you got to inhabit? Planet fucknut. You've got to be living on planet fucknut to think that the UK media is right-wing, right? Is that not fair? Any centre-left Guardian readers, Channel 4 journalists watching, please tell me. Top three, left, centre. Radio, Sky News, Channel 4, BBC, ITN, fucking left. All of it. Daily Mail's centre right, yeah. Not far right, because the Daily Mail, the fucking normal. If it was far right, they'd have been fucking burnt to the ground by the government, right? So the Independent. So the top 5, the Independent as well is far left. The Independent. Well, the Independent wrote this fucking drivel that said, some strange people think it's against your freedom of speech to chain you in the fucking basement unless you read The Guardian. No, the Independent's left. So, this is the world we're living in. Mental. Amajit sent me a tenner. Cheers, mate. Appreciate that. If you buy me a beer, by the way, I will reply to everyone with a witty comment. I'm starting to run out. Amjit, that's enough for 2 pints of Stella in London and 130 cans of Ace Lager in Middlesbrough. Thank you very much, Amjit. Appreciate that. Who else? Smile a day. Oh, she's a good egg. Hi, Angry. I used to pay £157 for a TV licence. That is a terrible waste of money. I am glad I talked you out of that, Andy. You're a good lad. So yeah, there we go. I don't think I can stomach listening to Owen Jones anymore. And judging by the chat, we're ready to have an angry revolt. It's going to get all Boston Tea Party up in this shit if I keep showing you Owen Jones. So I will cease and desist. But there we go. I don't think it was hyperbole. Talk Radio centre right, yeah, but again, what the fuck's Talk Radio? Talk Radio's like centre fucking right, but it's what, on YouTube and in London? Like, it's not even, it's regional. Talk Radio. It's not even a fucking thing. It's not like my nana knows what Talk Radio is. That's not really, it's not really fair. When they've got Sky News, the BBC, all of the BBC, Radio 1, Radio 2, Radio 4, Radio 5 Live, Sky News, Channel 4, the BBC, and we've got Talk fucking Radio, what, on YouTube? I think my granny knows what that shit is. So, yeah, mental, innit? I don't think it was hyperbole to say that we live in a fucking country that is a police state where you can be arrested, have a knock on your door, get your collar felt by the coppers for fucking having an opinion. Having an opinion they don't like. Kelly J, yeah, I like Kelly J. I follow her, she's good. One of my favourite. One of my favourite militant feminists. Which is what I keep saying about the intersexual umbrella, right? The intersexual. Intersectional umbrella. It's not a fucking thing. Their umbrella is a raggedy ass umbrella full of fucking holes. Their umbrella doesn't make any sense because they think they can get the most devout, I don't want to say the M word, practitioners of one particular religion that I don't like talking about because it gets you banned. They think they can get them under the same umbrella as transgender men and the Jewish community and militant feminists. They think they can get all them under the same umbrella and they're all going to get along with each other. The real intersectional umbrella is everybody that hates communists. Because Kelly J. Keane is a militant feminist who ordinarily guys like me wouldn't have that much in common with. But when I listen to her talking about all of the LGBTQ++ fucking alphabet stuff, she's right on the money. And I sit there going, you know what? You wouldn't think an old-fashioned, moderately sexist chap like me would get on with Kelly J. Keane, but I do. I like her. And I support her. And yeah, she's a little bit too, blokes as shit in some ways, but not really. She's entitled to her opinion. Women are entitled to be pretty militant feminists, and men are entitled to be, men's rights activists as far as I see it. As long as they don't go too far with it. I'm not a men's rights activist. I don't feel like, I don't feel threatened by women. But everyone has the right to have their own fucking opinion, right? The world's big enough for us all, as I keep saying. I'm more than happy with militant feminists. Jermaine Greer. I've got more in common with Jermaine Greer than any of these fucking lunatics on the left have got with very, very, very devout religious chaps from the Middle East. Yeah? I've got a lot more in common with them. Who do you think I'm going to get on better with? Do you think if me and Jermaine Greer were on the pub quiz team together, and sat across from us, we had New Zealand transgender weightlifter and Abu Hamza, which pub team do you think is going to get on the best? I'll fucking end it there. I'll leave you with that tricky question. Answers on a fucking postcard. Yeah, anyway. So there we go, guys. I don't think it was hyperbole on my side. We are living in the post-truth era. You can get a knock on the door for being very, very polite and disagreeing with a communist. And who knows where it goes from here. We really do need a fight back, and I think it's going to go tits up very soon. The Conservatives are going to get thrashed in the local elections as well, I think. Because people like me are just not going to vote for them out of principle. So I'm very, very concerned about the future of... I think we might be like in the same boat as Sadwings there and end up with the lefties being back in the driving seat for a bit. I think things have to get worse before they get better. That's what I think. Anyway, all right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. If you do want to fucking help the channel out, go on Ko-fi, which is shit, Kofi Annan. Go and see Kofi Annan and buy me a pint. Or go on Subscribestar, because I've only got 3 guys on there. Or don't. See if I care. Thanks for watching. Let's stick together. We're all in this together. Sadwings, go on then. You've got a question. Hit me up. What is it? Chop chop. I need to go and brush my teeth. Oh yeah, okay. He's taking ages. Thanks, guys. Mike. Kate. Liam. Keith. Hell. 21. Glenn. Everybody else. I will see you all very soon. What's the ending credit music? Ah, right, yeah. I found that on the YouTube library. I have no idea what it's called. I went on there and then clicked on the link because I said I wanted something like upbeat, and that was what I got. You'll have to leave that with me, and when I find out, I'll fucking let you know. Remind me on PM me or something, and I'll tell you. I'd sleep with Neil Kinnock, you creepy fucker. That is the weirdest thing. If you're going to sleep with it, if I was forced to sleep with a man, it definitely wouldn't be a ginger. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you very soon. Take it easy.